The Ministry of Health has proposed a review on taxes on unhealthy items including cigarettes, alcohol and sugary drinks with the aim to cultivate a healthier lifestyle for Malaysians. Health Minister Dr. Zaliha Mustafa told the Dewan Rakyat today that the tax review forms part of the strategy of introducing incentives to encourage pro-health practices under the Health White Paper put forward to charter the reformation of Malaysia's national health system over the next 15 years. She said the strategy falls under the Health White Paper's pillar of advancing health promotion and disease prevention, which also comprises strategies of reinforcing the national healthcare system's preparedness to cope with health crises, as well as intersector cooperation between ministries and health-related agencies to more effectively deal with these issues. Besides this, Dr. Zaliha said the reformation plan is backed by another 3 pillars, namely transformation of the healthcare system service, ensuring sustainable and equitable health financing, and strengthening the health system's foundations and governance. The Dewan Rakyat passed the Health White Paper today via a majority voice. It is worth noting that under the Ensuring Sustainable and Equitable Health Financing pillar, Dr. Zaliha said the ministry proposes to establish a national social health insurance program as an option to broaden funding sources to make public healthcare financing more sustainable. Dr. Zaliha adds that the public sector's primary healthcare facilities comprise only 28% of all primary healthcare facilities in Malaysia, but handle almost 64% of outpatient visits, which means that facilities are prone to becoming overburdened, as shown during the pandemic. In search of faster healthcare services, Dr. Zaliha says the Rakyat have been pushed to spend on private healthcare, which led to Malaysia's out-of-pocket spending for healthcare sitting at a high level of 34% versus comparable countries such as Thailand at 9% and Turkey at 17%. Boustead Holdings is considering divesting its gas stations in Malaysia and is seeking as much as 2 billion ringgit, according to people with knowledge of the matter, Bloomberg reports. According to the Bloomberg report, Boustead is working with an advisor to sell Boustead Petroleum Marketing, also known as Petrol, the people said. Oil and gas companies as well as investment firms have shown interest in the deal, the people said, asking not to be identified as the process is private. The move comes after Boustead, whose backers include Lembaga Tabung Angkatan Tentera, bought out the other shareholders of Petrol, according to the Bloomberg report. However, deliberations are still ongoing and Boustead could still decide to not pursue the sale. When contacted by Bloomberg, a spokesperson for the company said that as Boustead is currently in the process of delisting, the company's full focus is on fulfilling regulatory requirements and obligations to stakeholders. As such, Boustead will continually evaluate its investments and operations and will make any pertinent announcements. A representative for LTAT declined to comment. To recap, LTAT is in the process of taking Boustead private and will suspend trading from June 20th, after which it will be delisted. Petrol, founded in 2006, has a network of about 400 retail service stations and sells premium-grade fuel and petroleum products, as well as liquefied petroleum gas and lubricants. Fraser and Neve Holdings is venturing into the upstream fresh milk business following the groundbreaking ceremony of the group's integrated dairy farm in Gemas Negeri Sembilan, with an investment of at least 1 billion for the development of Phase 1. According to a Bernama report, the farm is expected to put the group on track to becoming one of Malaysia's largest milk producers when Phase 1 reaches full production of 100 million litres of fresh milk. Spanning over 2,726 hectares, the farm will eventually house 20,000 dairy cattle, producing 20 million litres of fresh milk per year for local and international markets, said Negeri Sembilan MB Datuk Sri Aminuddin Harun. Speaking at the FNN Agri Valley groundbreaking ceremony, he said the project, which will be developed in phases, is expected to be fully completed by 2027, create 500 jobs, as well as provide agribusiness opportunities for the local community. FNN CEO Lim Yu-ho said operationalizing the integrated dairy farm would result in the vertical integration of FNN's business and operations. He explains that it means reducing FNN's reliance on imported milk for downstream production and distribution, and will also help lower the cost per litre of fresh milk, ultimately benefiting Malaysian consumers. Rubber compound manufacturer GIIB Holdings Executive Chairman and CEO Tai Boon Wee has ceased to be a substantial shareholder in the company after he transferred 45.81 million of his shares to his son, Tai Kui Sheng, via an off-market transaction. Chi Sheng is an executive director in GIIB. Following the transfer, Chi Sheng now holds 67.69 million shares or an 11.45% direct stake in GIIB. His father is now left with 9.6 million shares or a 1.62% equity interest. Meanwhile, in a separate filing, GIIB said that the Sessions Court has fixed January 15 to 17, 2024 as trial dates in relation to charges against Boon Wee and Alice Wong Ping Kiong for an offence related to Section 18 of the MACC Act 2009. The offence was allegedly furnishing fake documents to its external auditor, Grant Thornton, Malaysia. It should also be noted that on May 31st this year, Boon Wee was remanded by the MACC together with two executive directors, which the graft-busting agency had remanded a day earlier. This was in relation to issuance of invoice and proceeds banked into GIIB's account, inflation of debts of a subsidiary company, and unauthorized payments to persons unknown. GIIB named Tan Chi Yao and Wong as the directors involved in the investigation in an earlier filing. The two directors have categorically and vehemently denied the allegations that have been levied against them. Capital A says that its earlier announced AirAsia Cambodia is expected to start operating in the fourth quarter of FY 2023, according to Group Chief Executive Officer Tan Sri Tony Fernandez. He explains that with its wide network and strong brand, Capital A is looking for opportunities in the remaining ASEAN countries that Fernandez says deserve an airline. According to him, Capital A's aviation business, AirAsia Malaysia, AirAsia Thailand, AirAsia Indonesia and AirAsia Philippines saw a total of 157 aircraft reactivated as of the first quarter, with enhanced profitability amid rationalized airfares and stabilizing external factors. The airlines now service a total of 229 routes and are targeting to operate 290 routes by the end of this year. Moving forward, Fernandez feels that Capital A's vision of becoming more than an airline and rather a low-cost, high-value, inclusive aviation and travel group has been vindicated by outside investors and the market. He says that Capital A is excited to expand its horizons and seek promising fundraising opportunities that lie ahead. Earlier today, Capital A announced that the group is currently carrying out an interim financial review as part of the evaluation of its PN17 status regularization plan. Capital A has until July 7th to submit its proposed regularization plan to exit PN17 status. Sister company AirAsia X is also in the midst of preparing a regularization plan in order to exit its own current PN17 status. AAX's submission deadline is July 28th.